I'm going to skip the intro and get right to what's important, something you and I need to know about, so let's listen in.
Hey guys, I'm Chase from Studio 204 Productions.
Got you, right there. Indeed, you are Chase Demos of Studio 204 Productions, but what does that really mean for us, for me, for you, for the world? Let's listen to what he's saying here.
This is going to be the first of hopefully many videos kind of talking about who I am and what I do and just kind of talking about things I enjoy. And
Indeed, who are you, and what do you do? Well, through hours of searching, I found Chase Demos is also known on the streets as Big Papa. Now, you may know Chase Demos as someone who runs the local music scene in Colorado, but he's aiming for something much bigger. I'll show you here.
trying to share some stuff with you. Um, a lot of things I'm going to talk about are music, which is my career and passion, but I also have many other passions.
Now, notice Mr. Demos' choice of words here. In the beginning of the video, he said first of many. Now he's saying he has many passions. He says he wants to share something with us. He seems a little bit dodgy. He seems like he wants to put some information out there. I personally believe that Chase Demos is going for a hostile takeover in the entire world's media in order to control us for his plot, for his collection, as he's going to mention later in the video. You may think that means one thing, but it means another. Let's get back into it.
That involve video games, comics, movies, television.
Now, as you can see, he's clearly a master manipulator. Chase Demos was getting a little excited there, seeing as his plan was moving faster than expected, and he tried to draw attention away, saying very normal, very human things to be interested in. Now, almost too normal, almost too human. Let me explain further here. You see, we've looked into Chase Demos a little bit here already. We'll get into him more, but let's stop for a second and look at Studio 204. What is Studio 204? Who's this group? Who's even filming this video, come to think of it? Now, I personally believe it's 100% possible that Chase Demos is filming this video himself with his reptilian tail. I realize it's a wide out there theory, and we'll come back to it. But by the end of this video, you will not dispute anything I say. So Studio 4 Productions is a group that you can research about relatively easily. Let me just go to their website, go to their blog, find some things for you. Alright, so once again, I'm going to find a small chink in Studio 204's armor, which is their Facebook page. Their Facebook page has been relatively unguarded. After this video, I'm sure security will double or even triple. So, as you can see here, I don't need to tell you what the problem is here. Our perfect 5-star rating is clearly showing that there's some sort of mind control going on here. I don't need to tell you that, so let's just move on. So, the reason I've 5-starred and like this page is because I'm trying to get insider info. Hopefully they don't do a biometric retinal scan via my computer's webcam and find out I am not of reptilian origin if they check all 67 of the likes and just do a DNA scan. If I do stop posting videos, if you stop hearing from me, just know that they have got me. They have taken me back to their homeworld in the 5th dimension, and don't try to help me. Save yourselves. Now, let me move forward really quickly by examining a post that's actually on this page, or at least links to it. There are many stories like this, but this is just the one I'm going to use for the sake of, being quick and getting you to understand. There are many stories just like this. So, Jacob Johnson, an aspiring musician in the Colorado area, whom I have met in 2014. He is a real person. A lot of people, a lot of theorists out there believe he was just created from scratch, essentially, by the reptilians to fill some sort of purpose, to like the page, to spread the influence of the reptilians. Now, that's not correct. Jacob Johnson I have met. He is a real person. However, after this post, you can see at the end he says, something big is happening on Friday. Now, that Friday, you can see that Jacob Johnson has continued making Facebook posts. However, the wording is much different, and I believe he's no longer on this planet. Let me explain. So, he's very happy. He's thanking Chase. He's thanking Studio 204. I believe he's been put in a state of euphoria, whether it be through hypnotism or a powerful intergalactic drug. Now, what I believe the reptilians are doing to humans is they're getting a select few humans who fall into their trap. They're putting them in this mass state of euphoria. They're taking them to their homeworld on the dwarf planet in the Andromeda Galaxy, and they are extracting the brain's dopamine to sell as a drug on that home planet. I believe that's what they're doing. I believe these are sort of international smugglers, if you will. Now, Jacob Johnson has been seen a select few times since then, but as the information I'll show you will point out, I do not believe this is actually Jacob Johnson. Whether it be an android, a completely different human genetically modified to look like him and told to do what he would do in order to take his place, but I personally believe that this is Jacob Johnson, or at least some sort of shell of him, simply introduced with reptilian DNA. Now, there's a few reasons for this, so let's examine this image here that's been on screen. Clearly, I don't need to tell you this is an image of the popular band The Criminal Smooth. Everybody knows that, yada yada. So let's look at Chase Demos in the back there. Chase Demos is on the drums, obviously. You can see him looking at Jacob Johnson, possibly mind-controlling him like a puppet. But if we look at Jacob Johnson, we can see on the right side of his face, on his right side, there's a little bit of a green marking there. You can see a little bit of a green tint. And before anybody says the old stage lighting is crazy excuse, I just want to say none of those lights are green. You can clearly see that is scales, or at least what appears to be scales showing. But more telling than that is Jacob Johnson's stance. You can see he's in sort of an awkward stance. Now, this is very telling, and this is very common among people who are recently introduced with reptilian DNA. As it's a struggle to maintain their human form. They haven't quite mastered their ability to shapeshift yet. You can see him trying not to revert to a reptilian form, or at least a more reptilian form, given that he's only probably a quarter, maybe half reptilian at this point. I believe by now he's full reptilian, but as this wasn't long after his apparent replacement, I believe he doesn't have full control. Now, he might have, during the show, reverted, and they might have mind-wiped the entire stadium. I believe this is a 30,000-seat stadium. This has happened before, but it's obviously not easy for the aliens to do. So let's go back to Chase Demos soon here. The rest of the video, at least, hear what he's saying there before we get too sidetracked. I just wanted to show you that and talk about how Jacob Johnson has been replaced. That's sort of just a side note. I just wanted to use him as an example of the many, many, many people Studio 204 and Chase Demos have changed. So, without further ado, let's go back to the video and listen to more of our reptilian overlord, Chase Demos. But not before I lay one more piece of information out there. When I was first researching this, and I first tried to reach out to and find Jacob Johnson, I had some trouble. I messaged him, I tried to get a hold of him, and no reply, which is fine. I don't know the man. However, when I eventually tracked down his address and found his birth parents, I asked them where he was, and they denied his existence altogether. They said they did not have a son, so I just thought I'd put that out there on a more somber note. Anyway, back to Chase Demos.
I'm going to have some of my friends and coworkers be on this and share some things too, and I'd like to just establish something that people can enjoy, something that people can relate to and participate in.
Now, I don't want to gloat, but everything Chase Demos just said completely and 100% confirms my theory, as you can see. So he wants his friends and coworkers to participate in this. So he says that, and obviously he's targeted his friends and coworkers first that he's made in his human life to recruit into this. He said he wants it to be something he can share, aka the reptilian DNA, something everybody can be a part of, saying that, you know, if you join us, your life will have purpose. He's trying to, in a very cult-like way, get you to follow his borderline religion of the reptilians. So pretty much all the language he just used there says everything I just said earlier about Jacob Johnson. His language clearly is almost talking directly about what he's been doing in transforming these humans and growing his empire here. So at the beginning of the video, you thought it was crazy, right? But now you're thinking I'm making a little bit more sense. So let's go in here and finish this up quick as I'm on top and just hit a few more key points before I call this a video and check my scrambler to make sure I haven't been found.
This first video, I'm going to talk about my collection room, or my basement room here, where I have most everything that I have, I guess. This room's got a little bit of everything. I wouldn't say it's a superb or jaw-dropping collection by any means. But
now here we get into what this video he's making is actually about. See, here's my theory on what this video is. I believe this is his first report since the beginning of his mission back to his superiors on his home planet. It seems like a normal video to some people, but as he's talking about his collection, I believe he's talking about the amount of humans he's collected. And you can see him sort of looking off screen to, I believe, what is a second room where he keeps some cryogenically frozen human remains to extract more dopamine from. He's telling his superiors that, you know, he has a little bit of everything. It's by no means jaw-dropping, so you can see him fidgeting a little bit. That's probably from him being a little bit disappointed with his performance in collecting humans, knowing that his overlords are not merciful, and if he doesn't step up his game, he's gonna be in trouble, basically. So that's what I believe he's saying. I believe it's a message to his bosses that things are going slower than expected, and that he's nervous. So that's why I believe he's going to make a big power play coming up here pretty soon.
but it's got a lot of things that I enjoy, and like I said, a little bit of everything. So let's check out what I got down here, and I'll talk about some of my favorite things.
Very quickly, I just wanted to say here, I believe he's talking about the quality of the dopamine he's extracted. I believe, based on the person's genetics, it's slightly different. That's what he means by a little bit of everything. So from here, the video transitions into a fairly normal review of all the things he's collected, and I'm sure there's more information in there, but I don't really know how to crack that code yet. I don't really know the ins and outs of their signals. So the last thing I'm going to look into before I call this video a wrap is Studio 204 itself. What does Studio 204 mean? What is the imagery here? Well, let me show you what I think. So S is the only letter in bold here. I believe that's the only English letter of any significance here. I believe S stands for snake, as easy as that may seem. Now, the rest of the letters have no significance in my opinion, but we do have the number 204. What does that mean? Snake 204. So I believe that this means that in the year 204 AD is when humans were introduced to the planet. I believe we were engineered by these reptilians and put on the planet Earth along with snakes. I believe that all of the information and all of the memories we have of our species before that year were electronically or through other means implanted in our DNA for us to remember an alternate history. Now, what I believe happened is they put snakes on the planet the same year as us. I believe they were meant to be worshipped. I believe snakes were meant to be worshipped by humans. However, for whatever reason, our genetic hardline coding that they put into us when they put us on this planet malfunctioned, and we began worshipping other deities, other things, cats, and like the Egyptians, and other things that weren't snakes. So I believe this made the aliens very angry. Now, the other thing of significance here is the number of shapes on the left. As you can see, there's various triangular shapes. Obviously, one of them is reminiscent of the Illuminati symbol, which is so popular today. But more importantly, there's 10. So let's see, 10, 204. I believe if you mix these digits together, you get 2014. Now, 2014, I believe, is the year that the aliens sort of culturally invaded the human race once again. I believe they're controlling our most powerful figures, brainwashing us, and slowly turning our society back into a snake-worshipping society, so that when they do make themselves clear, we will believe that they are some sort of god-like figure. When the snakes do come back to our planet, we will drop to our knees and worship them instead of thinking they're simply alien invaders. So the slow cultural transition to worshipping snakes and making them appear to be godlike creatures is, I believe, their goal here, so that we would supply them with anything we need with their planet without putting up much of a fight. So that's by and large what I believe about this whole situation. I guess I'll just end it there. Give me a like, give me a subscribe, give me a share, let everyone know that it's a very real threat. This is much bigger than global warming. This is much bigger than terrorism or China or anything like that the established powers want you to believe. So just look out for Studio 204. Realize what you're getting into when you research them. I would be careful about even researching them. I would clear your browser history after watching this video. Thank you very much. Hopefully I'll see you some other day. Bye.